This is in response to the channel Entertaining Ideas, excuse me, his video critiquing Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens' attempt at providing justification for uh, atheists' morality. And I'm going to say that atheists actually have more justification in a godless universe for morality than religious people have a justification for morality. Because if you look at God's authority to tell people this is how things are, this is what morality is. What is he basing those moral laws and rules on? Well, they're his preferences. They have to be his preferences because he doesn't have any environmental pressures like we do that's forcing him to be a certain way, and he's not. He wasn't endowed with anything like empathy by a higher being. So his morality isn't based on his survival. He doesn't have it because it is beneficial for him to survive and or to procreate. It's none of it is there's no environmental pressures at all to force him to have these preferences. He just has them. And so where do these preferences come from? That's just the way it is. He just says, I want it to be this way, and so that, and then we get into the topic of free will. And so his morals and his wants and all of that are completely arbitrary. Whereas the atheist at least has environmental pressures and the desire to survive in and to do well in civilization, in society or the tribe, and not be kicked out of the tribe, because to do so would surely or most likely result in death. So I think we learn that if we want to survive, we have to get along with others. And I think most people are endowed naturally with empathy, some level of empathy. And when I say endowed, I think it just, maybe it's something that is in our DNA or our genes, because over the years, over the millennia, living in tribes and such has kind of embedded this empathy in us, and this desire to do well in a tribe or community. Just like we have embedded fears of, like, if you see a snake or something, it's just automatically what you think is a snake from your peripheral vision. You're automatically gonna like jump, and there's some science to back up that comes from all the millions of years of primates living in the wild and having to look out for snakes and things like that. So I think empathy got embedded in our genes like that, but that's just me speculating. But either way, there are social pressures and environmental pressures, social pressures, are the same thing, that kind of force us to do it. But if you, but the same thing, if you go back to the prior causes for why we are empathetic, and you just keep going back until you get to the Big Bang, and why did the Big Bang bang the way that it did rather than some other way, who knows what. It was arbitrary that because there were no pre-existing conditions that made it go the way that it went. So everything is it. They're kind of on equal ground in a way, but I personally, where we've gotten to with where life started on Earth, based on the idea of God being infinite and having always existed. In our predicament, we have more justification based on the situation to be moral, whereas God, it's just completely arbitrary. There was no environmental pressures, and so yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching.